Imagine you're the CEO of a fast growing company. Every month, your sales are rising. Every month, you're opening new stores. Customers love you. Banks are willing to lend. Investors are cheering. Business magazines call you the future of Indian retail. Now, here's a strange question. What if every new store you opened was quietly making your company weaker? After all, growth is supposed to make businesses stronger. But 20 years ago, one Indian retailer discovered a painful truth. Sometimes, the biggest threat to a business isn't slow growth, it's growth itself. This is the story of Subhiksha, a company that grew from a single store in Chennai to more than 1,600 stores and then collapsed with astonishing speed. But this isn't just a story about retail. It's a story about one business mistake that founders, CEOs, investors, and even experienced bankers can make. In 1997, India was changing. The middle class was growing, but families still counted every rupee. Most people weren't looking for luxury supermarkets. They wanted trusted brands at lower prices. R. Subramanian, an IIT and IIM graduate, saw that opportunity. His idea was refreshingly simple. Forget fancy interiors, forget expensive locations, offer branded products at everyday discounts. Customers loved it. The first store worked, then 10, then 100. Soon, Subhiksha wasn't just opening stores, it was opening them across India. By 2008, the company had crossed 1,600 stores, becoming one of India's largest discount retail chains. To investors, it looked like a masterclass in execution. To banks, it looked like a business worth financing. To suppliers, it looked like a customer that would keep growing. Everyone was looking at the same numbers: more stores, more sales, more revenue. But almost nobody was asking one simple question: how much cash does this growth actually need? Here's the strange part. Opening a profitable store doesn't immediately make a company richer. It first makes the company hungrier. Think about everything a new store needs before selling its first product: rent deposits, shelves, inventory, employees, electricity, warehouses, delivery trucks. Every new store is another promise: a promise to pay salaries, a promise to pay rent, a promise to pay suppliers. One store is manageable. 1,600 stores are 1,600 promises. That's the difference between growth and liquidity. Growth tells you where the business is going. Liquidity determines whether it survives the journey. Subhiksha's expansion was funded through a combination of equity and substantial bank borrowings to finance working capital and rapid expansion. That wasn't unusual. Many fast growing retailers rely on external funding. The real assumption was this: fresh funding would continue to be available until the business became large enough to sustain itself. And for a while, that assumption held true. Then came 2008. The global financial crisis shook financial markets around the world. Banks became cautious. Credit became harder to obtain. For most businesses, that meant slower growth. For Subhiksha, it meant something much more serious. The company needed additional working capital to keep its rapidly expanding network operating. According to founder R. Subramanian, the company sought bridge financing while it worked on securing longer term funding. That bridge loan was expected to keep the business running through a difficult period, but the funding didn't materialize in time, and that changed everything. This is an important distinction. Subhiksha didn't collapse because one bank suddenly said no. It collapsed because the liquidity it was counting on didn't arrive when it was needed most. Imagine driving a car across a desert. You know there's a fuel station 100 kilometers ahead. You calculate your fuel accordingly. But when you finally arrive, the station is closed. The problem isn't just the missing fuel. The problem is that your entire journey depended on reaching that station. For Subhiksha, the bridge financing was that fuel station. Once cash became tight, supplier payments were delayed. Some suppliers reduced deliveries, others stopped sending inventory. Customers walked into stores expecting discounts. Instead, they found empty shelves. Sales slowed, less cash came in. Even fewer products reached the stores. A vicious cycle had begun. Interestingly, customers didn't abandon Subhiksha because they suddenly disliked the brand. Many simply couldn't buy what wasn't on the shelves. The business wasn't defeated by a lack of demand, it was defeated by a lack of liquidity. Most people believe businesses fail when customers stop buying, but many businesses fail much earlier. They fail when they lose the cash that buys them time. Time to pay employees, time to stock shelves, time to negotiate with suppliers, time to survive difficult markets. Subheksha didn't just lose cash, it lost time. The 2008 financial crisis didn't create Subhiksha's weakness, it exposed it. That's why the real lesson isn't about retail, it's about decision making. Growth is exciting, growth wins awards, growth attracts headlines. But sustainable businesses don't just ask, how fast are we growing? They also question, can our cash survive our ambition? Every generation finds a new way to repeat the same mistake. Subhiksha may belong to the past. The mistake doesn't. 20 years have passed. Technology has changed. Markets have changed. Business models have changed. But one principle hasn't. Growth without financial resilience eventually catches up with every business. Because in business, the companies that last aren't always the ones growing the fastest. They are the ones that can keep growing even when the easy money disappears.